Howdy hi, gentlemen, kind town folk of YouTube. Welcome to Lou's house. Yes, babies, today we are looking at the Strymon NightSky, the Strymon. Yes, baby, I got a quick story behind this. Now, I follow these guys on the Instagram, and they've been hyping this thing. Now, I gotta say first, I know I'm a little late on this. The big hype on this pedal and all the YouTube videos are a few weeks old, month old now, and I'm late coming in. But what inspired me is the little story behind this. So I've been following Strymon on Insta. I've never owned a Strymon. I almost bought a Strymon Dig, or Dig, however it is actually pronounced, D-I-G, before, when I was scoping out delay pedals, and I ended up going with the TC Electronic Alter Ego that I miss, that X4. I actually miss it, even though I love this Boss DD-200, which is what we're looking at going into the Strymon today. Now, to continue with the story, so following them on the Insta, I see that this new pedal's coming out, they're hyping it, they're showing teasers, right, and everyone's getting psyched, and you know, I love the color for one, and then it comes out, boom, they show it, and I comment on the thing, meh, M-E-H, and one of my other buddies, Eric Avery, he follows me, I follow him, dude lives on Hawaii, cool bass playing cat. Anyway, he made some funny comment on me with the meh, because then later I came back and I'm like, sorry for the meh, because what was going on with me psychologically with this was when I saw what it was, the name, the color, and what it did. Now, I don't like having to menu dive my pedals. One of the reasons I really love this DD-200 Boss, why say the DD-500 was always off my list, some menu diving. I like to be inspired turning knobs with guitar. Now, I have a Roland JDXI right in front of me, little synth, and I could be much better on that instrument. I'm a pretty decent piano player, and I do know how to use it, and I've done some cool stuff, and I'm going to continue, but that's part of the reason. It's like I need to learn it super good, so then when I'm in the creative flow, it's just intuitive, all the different things I have to do to save or, you know, create the drum line, because I'm still having difficulty doing that on my JDXI, but I digress. Going back to my Strymon story on Insta, so I felt so bad saying meh, because what was going on with me psychologically was, oh, this thing is awesome, it's going to be way expensive, and basically I'm really going to want it more than a pepperoni pizza from New York, or a cheese pizza from New York. I'm going to love it and want it more than that. I'm going to have to sell some of my stuff to get it. So, you know, that's my story. I'm like, meh, because I'm like, oh man, I don't even want to want this thing that bad. But I did. I watched all the Strymon stuff on YouTube. I follow them on YouTube. All of their stuff first, all their great videos they did on this pedal. And then a lot of other people's, of course, like Reverbs with Andy was a good one. And then he had some really cool sounds going. And, you know, I just needed something beautiful. And to me, some of these videos that I was watching and listening to this pedal were just some of the most beautiful guitar sounds. You know, I've always been into you know, like This Mortal Coil and some Cocteau Twins a little back in that era, and I still listen to This Mortal when I'm on a dark This Mortal Coil vibe. But the originals, I have their box set with all their studio albums, and it has a CD with the originals, which is great, with the Roy Harper, and there's Talking Heads, and I'm gonna leave out all the greats, but the originals is almost the best CD of the whole box set. But anyway, I digress. Some of the most beautiful sounds. I needed something beautiful in my life. I made some moves. I got it later. I wasn't obviously one of the first guys. I've had it a couple weeks or a week and a half, something like that. after I made some moves and sold some stuff, and it's just, I needed something beautiful in my life. I'll say it again. And it's a beautiful pedal. Thank you, Strymon. This is not endorsed, nor did they give me the pedal. But what also inspired me was today I was at work and I saw that Strymon had subscribed to my YouTube channel. And I'm like, oh, is that really Strymon, or is it like some other dude that's using Strymon or whatever? Maybe Strymon is Strymon Engineering, I forget, on YouTube. But it was Strymon following me. And I wonder if they know that I was the dude that made the meh comment and all this. And then, you know, now I've bought it. And I think, you know, I did comment on one of their YouTube videos, hey, I bought this pedal. And, you know, I don't know if I mentioned the whole Instagram story. But anyway, Strymon, thank you for making such a beautiful pedal. Excuse me, guys. Let me take a sip of my Courvoisier. Excuse me. That was not Courvoisier, by the way. Anyhow, so what we got, boys and girls, is this beautiful Strymon NightSky, and there's a ton of other videos out there on it with demos, and I'm not going to bore you with all that. What I am going to just tell you via mouth, I am going to give you one sound, okay, my clean sound, but it's none of my overdrive or anything else, and it's going DD-200 Boss delay with the reverb. I'm sorry, not the reverb, it's a reverse delay that I have created through their, you know, I've created it as a memory patch, and I'm using, what I'm going to do is just go through all of the presets. And what I did, I haven't even fully read my manuals over there. You might be able to see it under my DD-200 manual. I haven't even fully read it. I'm like, oh, this is a treasure, the way just the manual is so simple that they give you every little thing. And I'm like, I'm just going to take my time with this thing and enjoy it. There's so much to it, so many beautiful sounds that you can get and trippy cool. And then you get into the sequencer, and it's just, it's one of the coolest pedals ever, in my opinion. Now, I've owned quite a few pedals, sold and bought and sold. My trusty Crybaby's been with me since '91, the first pedal I ever bought. Third inductor I've soldered into it. Okay, and this is one of my oldest, my Small Stone and my Satchmo, the Saturation Engine, Joe Kramer, that I bought in Hollywood, era 2001. So these have been with me forever. My tuner, I've had quite a long time, but this first, 91, this probably in the, around the same era as the Saturation. Some of the same trips I was taking to LA from Santa Barbara. Anyhow, that's a little history there, but this to me is one of the most cool bitchin' pedals ever made, and I just gotta, you know, pump it up, because Rhett Shull did a video on this, and he's like, is it for everybody? Is it cool? Do you need to have it? And for his style, I agree with his video, what he had to say about it. And when I am rocking with like my big muff and 2 or maybe sometimes 3 stages of gain, I'm usually only 2, but I stack gain a lot between my Soul Food, the Saturation Engine, this Dr. J Emerald Overdrive, and the big muff, and I'll add in some, you know, Small Stone, and then I'll jump, you know, get on the wah, and often then I have no reverb going, and then I will occasionally do some delay with that for sure, kind of, you know, I'll go without delay for some stuff, but often delay, but I don't like a deep, trippy, spacey reverb on top of all that distortion when I'm going for that kind of singing lead sound, you know, aka Pink Floyd, Smashing Pumpkins, Chili Peppers, you know, some tones like that. I'm not doing the trippy NightSky, okay? However, this thing is fantastic if you're a worshiper, which I do worship. Also, I'm a worshiper and a rocker, and I do both. So if you're a worshiper, if you're into like shoegaze or, you know, ambient guitar stuff, this is just the most fantastic pedal you could have. Days of just knob tweaking and button pushing, and you know, there's just days of fun and beauty and cool sounds in this. This is part of the reason I elevated my pedal board again on this table. because I knew I was going to be tweaking the knobs on this thing. Now, that's exactly what I'm doing, and it's great fun, and I have barely got past the presets. I haven't created my own yet. I have just turned it on and kind of created my own patch here, so to speak, but it's just when it's on without a favorite being on. So again, I don't want to gush too much. It's a beautiful pedal if you need beauty in your life. But yes, Strymon subscribing. So if you ever watch this, thanks for the great pedal. The dude, I forget your name, I watched your like in-depth video where you're like talking over it, and you're like a Tesla, you know, Nikolai Tesla type of genius dude with pedals, in my opinion, and you sounded way heavy, and I just dug your whole vibe and learned a lot. And just, I can't recommend this more for worshipers, shoegaze, ambient, and just beauty, like a beautiful mellow, if you're into the mellow, and just beautiful, like cathedral-like. Now, enough talking. I'm sure I left some stuff out. Later I'll be like, oh, I should have said this, but I'm going to just go through all of their patches, their presets, and I didn't even realize till I held down one of these there was a whole nother bank that when it turns orange. So you may not be able to see what I'm doing that much. I'm not going to tweak knobs. The only knob I'm going to tweak is the wet dry. I'm going to leave my dry right about middle on the reverb. My reverse delay is set full wet, so there's like no dry, it's all wet. I'm getting what I think are some beautiful violin and cello style sounds out of this, and you guys just tell me what you think in the comments if you're so inclined, if this turns you on or not, if you dig what I'm doing. But I'm just going to keep it on the reverse, excuse me, and if I do tweak a knob, it's going to be the wet. I may turn it up or down, depending. And I'm just going to scroll through at my will here. And here we go, guys. I'm going to start with my little sound I've created, and then I'm going to go through all their presets from the green bank and then through the orange bank at a time rate that I just am feeling. Here we go, guys. Hope you dig it. Well, that's all I got for you today, folks. Hope you enjoyed that. And if you dug it, hit like and subscribe. And hope to see you next time at Lou's house. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.